All right, hey everyone, Stephen Dolly here with Abstract Disc Golf. A month or so ago, Prodigy actually sent us a stack of 8 discs, and I have not had a chance to review them. So Prodigy actually sent us 8 discs. I only have 7 here. In the time that we got them, in the time that right now that I get to actually review them, I lost the PA-5. It was amazing, understable, 3-speed putter. I loved it. It had a slight bead on it. I'm liking beaded putters right now, so I was enjoying throwing it. I threw it at CCO. It did me a lot of good in the tight woods there. And then I also threw it at Ledgestone, where at the Eureka Temp course, if you know the 299 hole, I think it's like hole 13 or 12 or 13. I accidentally threw it over the basket. I still had a nice tap-in 3 from it. But it sailed across the creek and under the bridge, so I was unable to get that back. And so unfortunately, I will not have that one to throw out here today, but I have the 7 others they sent me. All right, let's go ahead and go through these 7 discs they sent me. They sent me the PA-3 in Fractal plastic. While we were staying in Eagles Crossing in August, I actually got an ace with this on the little course that was at the campsite. Hole 7, it was just a little up the hill. I tossed it nice and soft, but I actually do have an ace with this Fractal PA-3. Along with that, they sent an ultra soft or a super soft 300 PA-3, and this one is a lot of fun to throw too. Sits nice and near the basket, and I can't wait to give it a couple throws here. They also sent a Glow A5 and an ultra soft A5. I'm actually using the Glow A5 during our Over the House challenge that we're recording right now. It's been a lot of fun. It's a great overstable disc, has a good bite to it. They also sent me an M4. I'd say their standard mid-range, a 5.5 -1.1. I do have a couple of throws with this. It has just a nice turn off to the right with a good little fade at the end, but very solid disc, very good feel compared to the M4s I felt 3 to 4 years ago. They also sent us a D2. The limited edition D2 750G Glimmer plastic. This feels very good. This feels nice and stiff in the hand, but it's still soft enough to, not break against a tree. Very cool looking plastic, very good feel to it. It's going to fly a lot like a Force or a Venom that I'm used to. And then leaving it with the Brandon Brown Feedback Fairway. This one actually did me a lot of good. I lost my nice beat up Raptor while I was out at CCO, and I tossed this one in the bag because it was the only kind of backup in that area I had. And that -1.3 definitely holds true. It's a very good pushing 9 speed, but it still has a very solid fade at the end. But let's go ahead and give them a couple of throws. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up to the D2. Let's go. Just a good little turn. And now for the ultra soft. Definitely a little bit more fade in the PA-3 ultra soft. Maybe I just didn't get it over on that anhyzer like I did the first one, but I do think that one kind of bites a little bit harder. Oh, and also shout out to Prodigy. Thank you for sending us these. We did not have Prodigy discs in our store yet, and they were willing to send these out for us to try out, get a feel for them. Shout out Prodigy. The A5s now. Much like a Zone, I'm gonna actually start with the ultra soft this time. I'm gonna try and give these just a little baby anhyzer. All right, came out very flat, very good bite to the end of it. But once it hits the grass, it stops. It's not going anywhere. Now the Glow. Yeah, only difference, that one had that little bit of the skip at the end. Hopefully you could see that. All right, now for the Prodigy M4. A little bit on the anhyzer side of the release, but I definitely know if I give that a little hyzer, it'll stand up flat. So I might grab that one again and throw it. Brandon Brown feedback fairway. Also, this one is in Spectrum plastic. I'm not sure kind of where that lands, but it is a nice, soft, gummy plastic. I think you could still get a good skip with this, but if you really spike it down, it'd sit nice and soft. I've been enjoying this in the last couple of tournaments I've been playing. Yeah, nice and trustworthy. And now we have the D2 750 Glimmer. Yeah, I think that one holds a lot more like a force. I think I need to put it a little bit flatter. It will get just a little bit to the right and then have a solid fade. That one was a little bit of an anhyzer release, a little bit higher up. Great for a bomber shot that you need to end to the left. Ooh, way off to the right. Is that in frame? Yeah, I think that's in frame. Yeah, the Ultra Soft actually fights out a bit harder than the normal plastic, but it just bites and hits the ground so soft with its plastic that you just can't move anywhere. I did try and hit these with anhyzer, didn't I? Should I try and go a little bit bigger anhyzer, or just a, let's just go ahead and go do a good forehand. Make sure it's in frame. Just a forehand kind of at the playground. Good little anhyzer. Fights out of that torque real easy. Solid finish. Now this one is, I do think the Ultra Softs are a little harder to forehand just because it doesn't quite have that torque resistance, but let's give it a good clean bid. See how it goes. Yeah, just a little shaky out of the hand, but it started to flatten out and it definitely had a good little fight to the end. All right, let's throw this M4 how it should be thrown. A good little hyzer. Let's aim right at the playground, have it flip up a little flat and really ride out. Oh, definitely a little high, but we'll be having a good little fade. Right around 280. That was definitely just a little high pull on my part. Let's go ahead and do a forehand with the feedback fairway. Still gives you a lot of good forward pushing distance. It just has that Raptor, that FD3 fade at the end. Very reliable, very cool. It's great to have that forward pushing distance, that -1 in it. And if I do get on a little anhyzer, it does hold that for another second longer than those 0.3 discs kind of do. So that one is a really cool disc that I've been enjoying. All right, now let's go D2. All right, we're gonna give them one last toss, starting with the PA-3 Fractal, and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts about them. So the PA-3 Fractal, I think, is an amazing putting putter, and it's a really good throwing putter. On throws off the tee box, it gives you just a little bit of a drift to the right on a higher arm speed. It feels exactly like the P2X that I putt with, so actually while I was out at these tournaments, I was putting with them as well, or putting with this one specifically. When I was out at the 60-70 foot range, I would switch to this, and I was draining a couple of really good ones that by the end of the Eagles Crossing tournament, I was using this one pretty much the whole time. If I felt a little shaky, if there was some wind, I'd pull the P2X out, but I was really enjoying this. So let's give it its last throw. I'm just gonna give it a little baby hyzer. stands up nice and flat, pushes straight down. Now we're gonna go with the Ultra Soft. This one definitely has a little more bite to it. Final thoughts on the PA-3 Ultra Soft. Definitely has a good bite to it, great approach disc. It has that gumminess to just sit and stay. It's definitely not gonna just stand up and roll away on you unless you're on some pretty big hills. But yeah, really fun disc, fun one to throw. I just haven't found a real spot for it in the bag quite yet. Really good putter, really good throw still. All right, the Prodigy A5 in the glow plastic. The glow I have not quite seen yet. I haven't taken out for a night round. But the disc, the A5, is a really good disc, good overstability. I like pushing it out nice and flat, even giving it that little anhyzer it fights out of. But yeah, let's end it on a nice little anhyzer. I was trying to spin it out a little bit, definitely got out a little straighter than I wanted, or a little flatter, but that's fine. Great overstable finish. Always need a disc like that in the bag. And now for the Ultra Soft A5, same deal. It has that great overstability, but it has that super softness. This is probably one of the softest feeling discs I've felt in a minute. Definitely feels like, you know, could just tear it right off, but no, it's a great disc, very sturdy still. And I definitely want to play a couple more rounds with it and see kind of how it wears in. So let me just try and mimic that last throw and get one out nice and flat as hard as I can. A little lower. I will say with the Ultra Softs, it's a little harder for me to get them up in the air. I don't know if it's just because I can feel it move in the back end, but that is just those super softs. M4, great disc. You always need a dead straight mid-range or slightly drifting to the right mid-range in the bag. This will do that for you. The 400 plastic feels good. Feels really good in the hand, nice and soft, but nice and sturdy as well. Like it's gonna take some good hits before it really shows some damage. Let's go ahead and give it a little hyzer flip. Much better than my first two throws. Stood up nice and flat, just drifted to the right and had a nice solid fade at the end. It's what you really want to see from one of those -1-1 mid-ranges. All right, the Brandon Brown Feedback Fairway. I do love the Spectrum plastic. The Spectrum plastic is probably my favorite. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it does have a good softness to it while staying reliably sturdy while you throw. You can still definitely skip with it, but it's gonna hit softer on like a spike hyzer, like I said earlier. And it's just a solid overall disc. It's a very good one. I'm gonna give this a good anhyzer. Let's see how it fights off of a good backhand anhyzer. Takes a little more time to fight out of it, but it definitely does. It swings, probably got a good 30 feet from the left to the right before flattening out, and still had a really solid finish. That's a disc that's probably going to stay in my bag, and I've been enjoying it for the last like month and a half now. All right, and the Glimmer, the 750 Glimmer D2. This is a very solid 12.503. Definitely feels a lot like my Venom. Maybe just a hair more to the force side of it, just because that 12 speed, I'm able to get it to move a little bit on that anhyzer. I can definitely trust this in wind. We had a small little gust of wind throughout today, but good overstable wind fighter. Very good feel in the hand, forehand and backhand. I could definitely see myself throwing this. And also the plastic is amazing. I love the plastic. I love what Prodigy's been doing since Will Schuster took over. And I can't wait to see more. I definitely hope they keep it up. This is all out of the park compared to the Prodigy plastic I felt in the past. I'm gonna go ahead and do a big backhand. I'm just gonna see how much distance I can get. I'm gonna give this a big run up. I might be off camera for a second. Woo! I think I got across the road to the right. I'll pull up a U-disc image of how far that one got. But I just want to thank Prodigy one more time for sending us those discs. We will be looking to get your wholesale and get you guys in our shop. Really love the plastic you guys sent us. Can't wait to see more of it. We definitely want to get some more disc reviews in. So let us know what company, what discs we should review. Maybe out of the Prodigy line, out of a new line of discs. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.